Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into my official NFL week number 15 potential upset picks where I talk about some games that could involve some upsets, also look at some of my top parlays as well as the betting money, who is picking who when it comes to this upcoming week. A lot of quarterback injuries like every year late in the season, but this year it seems to be even worse. And you're talking about two teams, the Minnesota Vikings on their third quarterback taking on Cincinnati with Jake Browning really playing while Cincinnati's sitting -3.5. And I do like the Bengals to win this game and cover. Nick Mullins starting for Minnesota. Very tough to pick them in a game like this, especially with how well Browning has played the last 2 weeks. He's seemingly developing some chemistry with the wide receiver core there for Cincinnati. They win this game. They cover the spread. This is that weird 1 o'clock Saturday game, not Sunday, Saturday game with college football not being on Saturday anymore. The NFL can have these games, so I will take Cincinnati to cover that 3.5-point spread just because of the unknown surrounding Minnesota with their third string now quarterback evidently starting. Josh Dobbs getting benched last week. Minnesota did win last week. That's why they're 7-6, but they only scored 3 total points on offense. The next game, it is Atlanta, Carolina. I mean, honestly, I would say to stay away from a game like this. Both of these teams, especially Carolina, but I do like Carolina to win this game. There's no incentive for them to lose. Yes, they are pretty bad, but they don't strike me as a team to finish 1-16. I think they're going to get a few more wins. And Atlanta, they're 6-7. They might be leading their division or they're tied and they have like the tiebreaker right now. It's such a horrible division, which makes Carolina's record even worse considering they're facing all these bad teams 2 times and they still can't get another win and they don't even own their first round pick. So Carolina, they're going to win one of these games. It's going to be close. It's going to be lower scoring. Atlanta going on the road with Desmond Ridder. It's really flip a coin, but I will take the home team Carolina to pull off the kind of smaller scale upset there, sitting +3. Next, you do have New Orleans taking on the Giants. I think New Orleans, I guess not crushes the Giants, but I really do feel bad for the Giants and their fan base because now they're like, could we potentially make the playoffs? Could we sneak in? Do we have our franchise QB? Is this another Brock Purdy situation? I'm guessing this is just something where the Giants are really hurting their future by winning all these games and possibly ending up with a pick outside of the top 5. Maybe this ends up being something. I just don't see it. I think New Orleans wins this game fairly easily. The Giants are due to not cover one of these games. New Orleans covers the 4.5-point spread. A 425 game. It is Dallas traveling to Buffalo. So Buffalo sitting -2.5. Pretty surprising considering Dallas is 10-3. Buffalo sitting at 7-6. Dallas has been covering a lot of these lines. They've been scoring a ton of points, especially at home. They're coming off that huge win against the Eagles. Give me Buffalo, similar to last week when I liked Buffalo on the road +2.5. This Buffalo team, they need this win badly. It's Dallas, 40-degree weather, traveling into a hostile environment. I will take the Bills to win this game 25-17. I also do like the under 50 in this one just based off the fact I think Dallas's offense is going to be grounded, and you could make an argument right now Dak Prescott is the leader in terms of, the MVP. I've been super impressed with Dak, but I do think he is due for kind of a clunker in terms of maybe not a great game. Give me Buffalo there. They continue their playoff push, possibly improving to 8-6. And then we do have a Sunday night primetime game. It is Baltimore traveling to Jacksonville. I do like the Jaguars in this game. Their defense at home should be better. Baltimore, they've had a great year. They're coming off that crazy overtime win against the Rams. This is just a game I can feel is going to be lower scoring. I like the under 43.5 in it. Trevor Lawrence has been banged up. Very strange game last week against the Browns. Seemingly lasted 4 hours. There were seemed like 200 plays involved in that game. The Jaguars ended up losing it. I think they win this one. It's an upset plus the 3.5. There's decent value on them in terms of that game. And then I do have a few different parlays. This first one, it's a 3-teamer. I do like the Titans at home against Houston. So CJ Stroud still in the protocol. Possibly Davis Mills starting this game against Will Levis. We had Will Levis on Monday night. The crazy comeback win. They're the only team to ever come back from 15 points down with 2 minutes left or something. They're going to win at least this game, you would expect, with CJ Stroud possibly being out. Even if CJ Stroud is there, it's going to be tough considering how bad that Houston offense looked on the road against the Jets. Him coming back after missing practice, it's not a great situation against a Tennessee team that does have momentum now with the young quarterback, and they're at home. Moving on to the next game, it is Cincinnati. I'll take them on the money line against Minnesota. I just can't trust Minnesota right now with Nick Mullins, and Jake Browning is playing a lot better. This is strictly a quarterback decision. Jake Browning is better than Nick Mullins, and he's at home. I would say he's probably got a better receiving core if Justin Jefferson's not there. I will take Cincinnati. And then you do have New Orleans on the money line against the Giants. So these three are relatively safe, I would say, just going against the Giants, fading them. I think they're due for a loss, and they lose that game. That one in total, just three money line teams plus 264. And then the next one, it's another three-teamer. The Eagles on the money line on the road in Seattle. This is a Monday night game. So yeah, the Eagles sitting -3.5 in this one. Some people are a little bit down on them. Jalen Hurts the past few weeks. Jalen Hurts has had a few pretty bad games. That's why I was surprised he was so high in terms of the MVP odds, but he's fallen back a little bit. I think they'll get back on track. I'm expecting a big A.J. Brown game in this one, possibly 2 receiving touchdowns, and the Eagles to score around 28 points. They win this game, they cover, but I will take them on the money line in terms of this parlay. Next, I do like Green Bay to decimate Tampa Bay. I just think Tampa Bay is really going to struggle this week going into a cold environment. They're not going to score much. I've never liked Tampa Bay this year, so give me Green Bay with that defense. At home, cold environment. They're pissed off coming off that Monday night loss to the Giants. They're going to be angry. They're going to win this game. I'm expecting a blowout win for the Packers. And then the Dolphins are due for a game like this where they just easily beat a team, especially at home. I understand the thought process here. The Dolphins just lost. They were 13-point favorites. The Jets just won. They had a really good defensive showing, but now the Jets are going on the road. Let's not overreact. This is still a Jets offense that is very bad. This is still a Dolphins offense, especially when they're at home. They are very potent. They win this game. They cover the 8-point spread right there. And then getting to just the trends, where is all the money going? Looking at the 3 Saturday games, this is the triple header. You do have the Vikings and the Bengals. More money going in on Minnesota plus the 3. I would disagree with that. You can see the over-under split basically even, although it looks like smart money is going in on the over 40.5 in that game. Kind of interesting. The 4:30 game, it is the Steelers and the Colts. A lot of money coming in on Pittsburgh. A lot of people like Pittsburgh to win this game outright. That spread's gone all the way down to 1.5. Pittsburgh coming off that brutal Thursday night loss, but they normally do rebound, and this is a winnable game for them on the road. Over-under sitting at 42. A lot of people like the over in that one in the Dome there at Lucas Oil. And then the final nightcap, it is the Broncos traveling to Detroit. Slightly more money coming in on Detroit minus the 4.5, and then a lot of people do like the over 47.5 in that one. That should be a fun little game. AFC versus NFC, primetime Saturday night. Moving on to the 1 o'clock window on Sunday, it is the Bears and the Browns. This is kind of a blah game. It just is, you know. I mean, I like Justin Fields a lot, but going on the road against that Browns defense, they are very decimated right now due to injuries on both sides of the ball. So a lot of money is pouring in on the Bears to cover a 3-point spread, and then 99% of the money on the under 38.5 because the Browns offense certainly isn't the greatest, although Joe Flacco has filled in very nicely there for the Browns. Next, you do have Tampa Bay traveling to Green Bay. More money coming in on Tampa. I would have to disagree with that. And then a lot of people like the under 41.5 there. You do have Houston traveling to Tennessee. A lot of money coming in on Tennessee with the injury to C.J. Stroud, the unknowingness, him being in the protocol. A lot of money also coming in on the over, or I wouldn't say a lot of money, but 70% of it coming in on the over 37. Kansas City at New England. How about this spread going all the way down? I don't know if there was an injury to Kansas City or what, but they were sitting -10. They're -7.5, and more money's coming in on the Patriots. Ezekiel Elliott getting reborn. I'd love to see Zeke have another really good game. A lot of money also coming in on the under 37 there. Another 1 o'clock game, Jets at the Dolphins. Money pretty evenly split, but slightly more money on the Jets plus the 8.5. Giants, Saints. You do have more money coming in on the Giants, although the Saints now are -6. I think they were -5.5, so slight trend in that direction. Falcons, Panthers, more money coming in on Atlanta minus the 3. Tons of money coming in on the under 34. Wow. And then you do have the Commanders, Rams. A lot of money coming in on the Rams to cover a 6.5-point spread. And then, yeah, certainly this should be a higher scoring game. Over-under sitting at 50.5. Both of these teams, especially the Commanders, when they're in garbage time, they can score a lot of points. And then the final 3 games here on Sunday, 2 4 o'clock games, and then the primetime game. San Francisco, Arizona, slightly more money coming in on Arizona. That's a very large spread for a road team in the NFL, 12.5. That could be a game where San Francisco is up by like 14 and then Arizona scores a late touchdown to cover. Over under in that game, more money coming in on the over. You do have Dallas and Buffalo with a lot of money coming in on the Bills to cover the 2-point spread. I like that. And then I do like the under personally. It's evenly split, but the under 50.5. And then the Sunday night game, more money coming in on Baltimore to cover the 3-point spread. I would disagree with that. And then also, I do agree the under 42.5 in that one. But guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.